welcome. Chris Cox here. I got a great Kiss guitar lesson for you today. We're going to do Detroit Rock City from the 1976 Destroyer album. The tuning for this is a half step down from standard, so that's E flat if you want to play along with the album or this lesson. Let's get started with that intro riff. So the introduction riff starts here on the A string. We're going to be pivoting back and forth from the 4th fret of the A to the 2nd fret of the A, and we're getting this riff. Now, when we shift down here to the D string, we're playing the exact same riff, but we add that little pick part at the end. Now, if you allow that A string to kind of ring when you shift to the 4th position here, I think it sounds much cooler, a lot thicker. So I'll give you an example. So all I did there was just kind of keep pressure on the A string and just slide it into the 4th fret. I didn't pick it or anything. All the picking occurs here from the 6th fret of the D to the 4th fret of the D. So let's go over that slowly again. That's basically when we go into that A5 chord, which is open A, 2nd fret of the D, we hit the open E string first. And then we're going to hit the open E again and play the B5. The B5 is going to be 2nd fret of the A, 4th fret of the D. So this is what we have so far. I should say you want to make sure you're doing alternate picking for all this entire riff, so that down up. So right before we go to that A, we're playing this lick, just, and that's only going to occur here on the 6th fret of the D. The second pass through, we go straight to the 4th and the 6th and 4th position, so technically the 4th position, and play this. So let's play the whole thing through from the beginning. First pass through is the second part. Same chords. And then we go into the verse. Recommended listening, Shark Island Bloodline. I got this recently and couldn't stop playing it in the car for probably 2 weeks. It's great. So Shark Island was a huge Sunset Strip band, if you're not familiar with them. Richard Black was part of a band called Contraband, which featured Bobby Blotzer from Rat, Tracy Guns, Michael Schenker. Richard was the singer, and then I can't remember the Vixen bass player's name, but she was the bass player. So that's kind of like where I became familiar with Shark Island, was through Contraband. But this is their last studio release, Bloodline. And I'm going to leave their website, their YouTube and Instagram. I highly recommend checking out this album. It is killer front to back, just a great sounding record. Okay, so let's go over the chords that are for the verses. So basically they're just one downstrum power chords and just holding those chords in between the changes. So the first one's going to be a C5. That's going to be 4th fret of the A, 6th fret of the D. Now we switch to the E5. E5 is going to be 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D. Then we switch to the B5. That's going to be 7th fret of the low E, 9th fret of the A, and then we come to F sharp 5. That's going to be 9th fret of the A, 11th fret of the D, and then back to the C sharp again. Now 2 down strums on the A5, so that's going to be open A, 2nd fret of the D. And then we do 2 down strums on the B5. And then we play this riff. I'll play it slowly. Just plays one time right there. So let's go over that riff, because that's going to come back again on the 2nd verse. So it goes. So that's going to be 4th fret of the A to 4 to 2. So 4, 4, 2, and then 4th fret of the low E. And come back to the B string here, which is our B note, which is the 2nd fret of the A. And then it ends right there on the 4th fret of the A before we do the next part. So it's I like to teach this in chunks. It's a little bit easier to kind of take a few notes at a time. Then we do this. So let's learn that part. So that's going to be 4, 2, 4, and then 2 on the D string. So we have this so far. This is the hardest part, the next part. Now, we're going to go, we'll learn this part first, those first 3 notes. It's a little quicker, different kind of timing with this. So it's going to be 4, 2, 4, low E. Back to the 2nd fret of the A. Now you're going to flatten your first finger here and grab that 2nd fret of the D, and then come back on the C sharp note, which is the 4th fret of the A string, before you get back into. Okay, so play this again slowly. Okay. Go back, the 2nd verse is exactly the same. C sharp 5. All the same chords. E5, B5, F sharp 5. And the A5. Now we play that same exact riff, just slightly, some slight variations. So everything you learned before is pretty much the same. So we play a. Repeat it again. So we're going to stop there and do a. That's going to be all the way down here on the 14th fret of the B string. Or you could grab a. Here you could play the same note, just an octave lower, which is going to be the 6th fret of the G string, whichever you want to play. So play that again. Repeats again, same thing. Nothing changed. Right there, we're going to switch and move down a whole step. So we're going to be here at the D sharp and play the same riff. So it's going to change up just slightly. So we go. here's the change. Now, if you play the exact same riff that you learned up here in the second position, you just move that to the fourth position. It's exactly the same. So we'll go. I'll call out the frets though. It goes from 6th fret of the A to 4th fret of the A. Same thing before. 6, 6, 4, and then 6 of the low E. Back to the 4th fret of the A. Back to the 6th fret of the A string. So then we go. So that's going to be 6, 4, 6, 4 on the D, A to D. And then we'll do a 6, 4, 6th fret of the A. And that's, you know, again, kind of bar your first finger across the 4th fret of the A and D. Now that's the only difference. Instead of coming back and going, it ends on the C sharp. Play the whole thing slowly. This is probably the trickiest part of the whole song. Getting ready to go into the third verse. Third verse is the same as the second. Okay, so there's two parts to this solo. The one is just the main melody part, and then there's a harmony part that comes in on the second, halfway through the solo. You can learn either part you want to learn. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. Sometimes when I'm playing along with this song, I'll play the main melody, and then the second pass through, I'll play the harmony part. So I'm going to show you both parts, though. So the first part's going to go, excuse me. So we're sliding in to the 6th fret of the D, to the 9th fret of the D, to the 8th fret of the G, to the 6th fret of the G, and then we're holding that note. So it's and then we play this melody. That's going to be 9, 8, 6. That's all on the G string. Now on this part we're sliding from the 6th to the 4th. So we have this part so far. Now here we're going to be playing this, barring your finger across the 4th fret of the G and B string, because you're going to play this. So that's G first, and you're going to pull off here from the 5th fret to the 4th fret of the B, and then you're going to pull off from the 6th fret to the 4th fret of the G. And then you're going to play 6, 7 on the D. So we have this much so far, if I can talk. Then we play this. Oops. And that's going to be 6, 4, 7. So 6 of the G, 4 of the G, 7 of the D. And then you're going to slide from 7 to 6 on the D string. So let's play what we got. Repeat that same lick again, that first part we learned. All the same thing we've learned already. All the same, but this changes. So that's the only difference right there. So I'll play that. We'll just consider this as the second pass through. So we'll just go through the notes and the frets again. Slide into the 6th of the D, to 9, 8, 6, and then play 9, 8, 6 on the G. And then slide from the 6th to the 4th. So the only difference there is we're doing a pull off, 6, 7, come back to the 6, and then grab the 8th of the G, and then finish on the 6th of the G and do this. So let's play what we have. Now we go back to here, 4th to 6 on the G. We'll play this riff again. And that's going to be 9, 8, 7 on the G. And then a slide from 6 to 4 on the G. So you can kind of see a lot of these melodies are repeated. This is the slight change right here. So again, bar your finger across the D and G on the 4th fret and go. That's 4, and then pull off from 5 to 4, and then pull off from 6 to 4, and then slide from 6 to 8 on the G string and come back. So then we play this. And that's going to be 9 of the G, 8 of the G, 6 of the G, 4th of the G, and back to the 6th. And we play that little lick. So that's going to be from 7th fret of the B string to the 9th fret of the B string. And then you do a hammer on pull off. That's going to be start here, pick the 7th fret, and you're only going to pick it once. And you're going to hammer onto the 9 and pull off to the 7, and then come back to the 9th fret of the G. So we have after you get that, after the hammer on pull off, you come back up to the 4 and the 6 of the G. Play the same melody again. And then it finishes here on the 6th fret of the G string. And the second pass through is when the harmony comes in. And the first part is going to be... So you're going to slide into the 9th fret of the D, to the 8th fret of the G, to the 7th fret of the B. So there's 9, 8, 7, 9 of the D, 8 of the G, 7 of the B. And then back to and then 9th fret of the G. So the melody here, if it's played down here, So that's going to be 13, 11, 9, and then slide from 9 to 8. So that's, so let me play what we have so far slowly. Then we play this. That's going to be 8, 7 of the B, 9 of the B, and then pull off to the 7. And that's going to be 9 to 8 on the G. That's going to be 5 to 6 on the G. There's 6, 5, and then we're going to slide down to the 11th of the G, and then finish here on the 9th of the G and do this. And then repeats again. So this is going to be 8, 9. Same melody. But this time we slide from 9 to 11 on the G and then come back to the 9. So oops, 13, so it's 13, 11, 9, so 13, 11, 9, 8, 9, all on the G. Now, that's going to be down here at I'm getting myself confused. You're going to come down to the 12th fret of the B and play that lick. So it's kind of similar as what we played up there. So we go 12 to 14, and then a hammer-on pull-off from 12 to 14 to 12, and then 8, and then play the same melody again, and play this part again. So that's going to be hammer-on pull-off from 7 to 9, 8, 9 of the D, finish on the 11th of the D, and then it goes back into the third verse, which is exactly the same as all the other verses. So let's play that. The song, there's another melody played, and it goes. So I'll show you that. So it's going to be a lot of the same notes and melodies, just slight variations. It's going to play 9, 8, 6 on the G. So it's going to be 9, 8, 6, back to 8, back to 9, and then 2 picks. And that's going to be 9, 8, 6, 8, and then 4, 6. Then at the very end it plays the same melody up high, so it's just an octave higher, and then that's the end. So that's going to be 17 of the B, 16, 14. So 17, 16, 14, 16, it's back to 17. And that's going to be 17, 16, 14, 16, 12, 14. And then it finishes on the 14th fret of the B.